Hello, everyone. This is Prati Kaufman, host of Small Biz Marketing. Today, I am with Suzanne McColl, owner of Suzanne McColl LLC. She's a coach, a speaker, and a self worth builder. Suzanne, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to the show. And I really want to know, what this self worth builder is, and let our audience know a little bit about you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prati. I'm so excited to be here with you. So a self-worth builder, actually I came up with that name by generating who I am, what I do, how I focus into some kind of an AI platform. And it came up with different descriptions. And that one really struck home for me because I wrote a book on building, claiming your self-worth. Everything I do is really, that's the foundation, I think, for every person to believe in themselves, and also the idea that you can build that. It's not something that just happens. We have that because it gets supported in our lives by the people that raise us and the people in our lives. But if we don't have that, and so myself, my clients who I've worked with for years, now my team that I work with, if for me, it's all about building self-worth, and this for each one of us, like all the way down the line. And that's what life is about. So that's kind of why I call myself the self-worth builder.
That is cool. And what Suzanne McColl LLC do? I know you're a psychotherapist by profession.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your business and how you are making that self-worth part of your, work.
Yeah, so Suzanne McColl LLC is like an offshoot. I started out as a group individual therapist, and then running a group practice that I've been doing for 8 years. And then during COVID, started Suzanne McColl LLC, which is separate, and I do it all on my own. So I'm a one person show on this one, and it's really all about getting the message out about self worth. So I wrote a book about it. I created a course on it. I have my own talks, self-worth talks, where I interview people and like really explore with them how they built their own self-worth and how they're doing it. And so everything that I do is focused on that. And so the psychotherapy that I is even more focused on that. I do like VIP packages with people who are really like professionals, entrepreneurs, people who are working on becoming leaders in their own sense, and helping them with their self-worth. So it's pretty exciting because
This
that's
is
the most
great.
exciting place to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better place, by the way, if you're listening, that to be a small business owner. Like, this is the best time you could be. You have knowledge on your fingertips. You have so many people to help you, people to talk about their journey. So that's exactly what we are going to do today in this podcast. We're going to talk about your journey, what it takes to be successful, because 50% of the small businesses fail within first 5 years. So how do we change that? How do we change the dynamic? What is it which makes a small business successful? In the what are like I really want to focus on what are the things we need to do to be successful in the first 5 years, because then you can continue building on it. But I know the first few years are so crucial. It can make you, break you, give you doubts, make keeps you awake in the night. It's exciting, it's scary, it's a ride like no other ride. Like, I thought having children is scary. I think entrepreneurship is takes the cake out of that. So that's what we are really going to talk about. So I'm going to start with some rapid fire with you.
Okay.
One quick questions, and if there's something to expand, we'll expand. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. So let's start with that. What's this one thing you've never admitted about running a business?
Ah, it is so hard. It is so hard. If I could feel this way when I was working for somebody, I probably would do it. It is just so hard.
Exactly.
But I don't feel this way when I'm working for somebody.
Yes, I
I mean,
hear
it's
you.
love hate.
It is the hardest thing you'll ever do, but it's the best thing. It's I don't know how. It's just, again, you get addicted to the roller coaster
You
ride
do.
of
You
it.
do. It's like raising kids.
Exactly. Second question now. If your industry disappeared tomorrow, what is totally unrelated business thing you will do?
Oh my God. I always tell people open some kind of a franchise. I don't know, but I do. One of the things that I always say is, oh, I would like to run a co-working space. Just nothing to do with helping people, but like have a space where it's beautiful and, be able to, I love designing. So I think that would be very cool to own a co-working space, design it in a way people love to come in, like I do when I use one, and just be there and make it grow and help support people. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Very great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's one so-called best business practice you dislike?
Well, I think you're going to agree with me on this one. So, um, I'm like an idea person. I like to kind of go with my ideas and, um, let them go, let them build. And best business practices is to kind of move slowly, make sure there's, do research, it's going to work, make sure there's infrastructure to support it. And that really is annoying to me. I don't like
I
that.
hear you. Yeah, I hear you because I think I'm like this too. Like, have an idea, fail fast, move fast, and once you know what's successful, then stick to it, right? So I would rather find what is success very quickly by making a lot of mistakes and having a lot of failures rather than just sit and think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. It's a good one. What is one thing you believed that was success 5 years ago, and now you think like, what the hell? What was I thinking?
Well, I thought it would be a lot easier. Like when you're successful and you make a lot of money, this is for my other business. I'm still working on my solo business too. But I thought like once you make this much money, and it's all going to be easy. It's going to feel so much easier, but it doesn't get it does because there's just more challenges. Like the more as you grow, you take on more people. Now you have to learn how to manage people and and that becomes like how you become successful, and so it's you have to learn. It's a challenge all the time, so that's what I
Yeah,
didn't realize.
yes, the growth comes with pain
Yes,
always, and
always,
you
and
just
it's always
yeah,
a growth process.
yeah, it's a growth process.
Um,
Now that's a really good one. If you could erase one word or phrase from the business world, what would that be?
oh God. I don't really, I'm not sure what it would be. I think it has to do with that, taking things slowly. Like I don't really have a good answer to that one. I
That's
feel like
okay.
I'm not fully entrenched in business world terminology. I'm so like
Yeah,
into this other kind of, manifesting terminology in my life and culture of the business and all that the actual like nitty gritty stuff.
yeah. I think when I think about it, it's not so much of a term, but redefining ROI, right? Return on investment is always defined just by the money you're making or the profit and all that. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
I would like to redefine ROI as like, how happy are you fulfilled, right? If you are okay making 100,000 and you have a life you love, then just stay. Like there's no reason to go crazy. And having that ROI added, like emotional, how you feel, I don't think business world has that yet.
Yeah. 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 That I think it's there's a lot of chatter about it
Yeah.
among different people, but like the actual business terminology, it's just not there. And the KPIs,
Like, yeah. Key
those
performance indicators, yeah.
key performance indicators. Those are the
Yes.
things. They're so inhuman.
Yeah, you just have to add some human emotions to those. I think that would be good, not to erase, but maybe a little bit of redefining those
I
terms.
think so. I think like redefining it is what has to happen. I believe it
Yes.
will happen.
And that's what it is that you're doing the self-worth building. I've added marketing energy. People always ask, right? Why the marketing energy? There was nobody using it. But again, we are here to do the work in a way that is right, in different and the right for us. So you have had your business for years. You have had a very successful run with your practice. Then, you have launched another business. So if you were to contribute your success, is it luck? Is it psychology? It is business savviness, or is a combination of all? what it takes to be here years like 10 years from now, like, like you've had 8 years of practice. So
I think it takes all of those things, but I think what makes people stand out is when they have the psychology behind it, when they understand people and they're people focused. And that means, what do people in the world need? What do people on your team need? Make that. I'm all about compassionate leadership right now. So make it important who your people are that you hire or that you help. Take into consideration their whole life. Everything you do has to be about mindset and building culture in your
yes,
business, having aligned culture with your values, and that you have to have the
yes,
psychology behind it.
I agree with that. I think it's easy to make money. Honestly, it's not
Yeah,
that hard, but there's money you can make, and there's a money which is you're making with your purpose, with the impact you want to create, with all of that, and that requires a lot of psychology, right?
yeah,
And caring for
yeah,
people. I was listening to I ran into a reel, and Jeff Bezos said something really beautiful. He's a smart guy. I really like the way he thinks. That's why he's so big. And he said something about that you don't make money by selling to people. You make money by helping them making a purchase decision, which is again about knowing what they want, what values are they aligned. So it's beautifully said.
yeah, yeah.
So the next thing is like you built a successful business, psychology, but what are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in building this business?
Um, it's interesting because I'm facing them in my solo business. What I faced several years ago in the other one, um, being having to do everything was really hard in the beginning of my other business. So that's a major challenge. Is like, how do I work on the business and work in the business at the same time? And it's something you have to do. You can't neglect. You have to like give yourself time for each thing. So that was a major challenge of really, first of all, mindset, knowing that that's important. Like, you can't just be good at what you do. People have to know who you are. You have to have relationships in the community. So those are challenges that I had to like really get past, like self confidence, being able to go out and market myself, because it's not about always just putting yourself out on the internet. You have to meet people, you have to get out there. So that was a challenge. And then it came to building without any money. It was a major challenge. Like, I had no money when I started. I ended up taking a lot of my money because I went from a day job to working for myself. A lot of my money that I invested for retirement, I ended up using that. And it was stressful. So, like, trusting that what you're doing is going to work is really hard because there's not an initial financial return an ROI, as we say. So that was really hard, and sticking with it, even though it was hard, and that was difficult. And not knowing if what I was doing was right. If it was like, is this how it's supposed to be? I really didn't know that. I didn't have a coach in the beginning. I wasn't networking with other entrepreneurs because I was like always like a therapist who worked for people. So that was a big challenge of learning how to get the support that I needed. I could go on forever on what the challenges were.
Yeah. So how do you make decisions, right? And that's a huge thing, right? I don't think any of us know the right decisions,
Yeah.
right? Like you kind of have to figure it out the best possible, like based on our knowledge and experiences and wisdom, whatever you call it, the inner voice, you kind of have to know. So I'm going to ask you some lead on like the next question
Okay.
based on your answer. So one is for you to leave everything and put all your retirement money, right? And you're saying that that trust, like there has to be there. And then making the decisions you had no idea will work for you or not. How did you make those decisions then? Like what was your strategy for that?
Well, I continually had to evaluate, why am I doing this? why am I doing this? Like, okay, and remind myself, okay, I was working for these people. What was wrong? What didn't work within that? Why am I doing this? What is it that how do I personally need to grow and want to grow? Because it's always about that. Um, so is this the right thing for me? And I would always come back to that and say, well, I really don't think there's an alternative. So I stuck with that. And then, um, yeah, and that was the biggest thing. Is like, do I want to go back to work for other people, or do I want to, okay, I'm going to have to keep moving forward. And how do I move forward? Well, it's an income thing, like a bottom line thing. Like, okay, I'm going to have to either attract more clients or get more therapists to work for me. I have no choice because I have to get more income to support the business. So you kind of
Yes.
go because you have no choice. And that may
Yes.
sound terrible. That's like, it's kind of seat of the pants kind of thing, but it's the way it is. You have no choice.
No, Suzanne, I agree because I never have plan B in my life. Never had a plan B. I only have one plan because either I'm going to give it all, whatever it happen. I think the next thing will define the next step, right?
Yeah,
Whatever that will be. But I never have a plan B to fall back on because it's just this is it, right? You have to be that
you have to be all
invested, right?
in.
100%. You're all in or all out, right? This is
Exactly.
you're gonna give it all. Like every single breathing moment becomes that. And one thing I love about what you said was I keep telling all the small business owner, bottom line, initially, everything you do should be moving the needle of making money, right? Don't spend time on perfecting an Instagram post for 4 hours. Like it's not going to bring any money to you. Like don't perfect your social media. Don't perfect anything. Just bottom line, am I making money or not?
It's the bottom line.
Bottom line at the beginning, right? Like, yeah, talk about, those KPIs of fulfillment, joy, all of it later. But at the beginning, I think money should be the top priority because a business is not a business if you're not making money.
Yeah. And on my solo business, I did that. I spent a lot of money on, memberships, and it was good for me because I connected with other entrepreneurs. So I think some of that is good. You need some support from other people who are doing what you're doing, but I really spent too much money.
Yeah, you have to network, you have to get out. If you have to have money, like that's non-negotiable. That's part of the business. You
Yeah.
gotta meet the right people, make the right connection, but you don't need to spend tons of money in paid ads. Like there's no reason.
The
You
least
can really
amount of
build it
money.
with bare minimum. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you talk about one of the biggest thing, right, working in the business, you have a very clear idea of working on the business. And what I see is you're doing both, even with the new business, knowing that you have to get out there. And we all get very caught up in running daily that we don't go out, network, we don't think about growth. So you're able to make decisions quickly because you're always thinking about how do I want to grow? What do I want it to look like, right? I think those questions help us make the decision.
Yeah.
So, how do you do that? It's a very difficult thing to balance of working in the business, working on the business. When you're doing it, you're doing it all. You are the sweeper, you are the right, like everything, like the tax person, you are the bookkeeper, you are the customer service agent, you're the, like you're doing all. How do you do that?
It's really, really hard. You really have to manage your time really well. You have to like, time block basically. You have to say, this is when I'm going to do this, and this is when I'm going to do that, and this is why I'm doing that, because this is not going to work unless I do that. And you have to constantly be adjusting and evaluating why you're doing what you're doing, and knowing that it's going to lead you in the next direction, and the next, keeping you go to that next step of business growth. And I know from my first job, my first company that I started, that it will work, but you have to do it. And I think it helps to know that this is what it takes. It's persistence and getting out and people knowing you and connecting that helps your business grow. So I do know that. And so it helps me now to do it, but it was hard in the beginning to make
Yes.
myself do it. Get support from other people, like, say, hey, I'm going to do this, you want to go do this with me? Or accountability helps. If you know another entrepreneur, it really helps to make you get out there and do it.
Yeah, and there's so many resources now online, in person, everywhere. Like, though really you can join any possible way for this networking support. There's so many groups which are like not that expensive to join, where you can meet like-minded people, people on the same journey, like, umpteenth number. So we are not going to get into those resources, but they're there. You just need to Google search. Like really is so simple.
It's so
You
easy.
go to Eventbrite and look at all the entrepreneurial event happening in your city, and you can start to join, and people will show you. And people are really helpful. One thing I found, one of the most helpful community is entrepreneurial community. They're always wanting, because I think they know how hard it is.
They know, they feel it.
Like, yeah, like they always would help an extent. If they can give you business, they will give you business. They'll do whatever it takes to stand by you, which is such a beautiful thing to see in a
It
community.
is. This makes me think about it was during COVID when I had all the time and I was just walking, right? I listened to so many podcasts. And one of the people that I listened to was like, if you don't have any money, that's okay. You don't have to go and spend money on this person. Listen to their podcast, read their book. I learned so much about how to run a business by listening to podcasts and even those webinars that are free. People want to sell you at the end, but you don't have to buy, but you still learn.
So
You
much.
learn so much. And so it doesn't always take a lot of money to learn how to run a business.
I agree with you, and I'm all about the human energy. I have a mastermind, right? And my mastermind has Oprah. My mastermind has Jeff Bezos in it. My mastermind has, Elon Musk in it. I have mastermind which has, Michelle Obama in it. Correct? Warren Buffett, because you can access energy.
Yeah.
Like when I need to make a right decision on financially, you just need to be like, what would Warren Buffett think here? Like, how would he do? Like, read about him. Oh, if I'm lacking in confidence and I'm feeling like shit and I don't know if I can do it, how did Oprah did it? How did she believe when in the moments of doubts? Like, what would she do? Right? So again, there's so many ways. Read, access energy, think about what they would be thinking. I mean, that's a whole mindset thing. Again, it comes to psychology. Either we can talk about the lack of resources and how I don't have money to do it, or you say, okay, I'm going to find a way to make it happen with
Yeah.
what I have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I was just thinking this morning, or maybe it was last night, like, how do I move forward? What's my next step? Like, what's my new next sense of honing my identity? Because it's constant. And I was thinking, well, what would Brene Brown do with this?
Yes, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's what we do. It's how to make
Yeah.
things move forward, keep moving forward and keep being inspired.
Yeah, find people who inspire you, right? And that's what it is. Listen to them. I don't even listen to big, like hour-long podcasts because it's just hard for me. I can do 30 minutes max, but then, there YouTube shorts, reels, like short, quick things you can, and they pack so much wisdom in that one little thing, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So continue learning, guys. Be curious. And another thing I'm learning from Suzanne is know your why. Never ever lose sight of your why. That's what's going to get you through hard time. That's what's going to get you through that making money, the next big thing, right?
Yeah.
Never lose sight of the why.
Yeah. And the why and the success is not always about the making a lot of money. It has to do with your why. Why am I doing this? It's not just about making money.
I agree. But money is also important.
It
Always
is.
remember at the beginning, if you're not making money, it's a hobby. I keep saying that. Business is all about making money and a profit.
Yes.
Not, oh, I'm feeling like, no, you can't live in a la la land either, right?
No. No.
So please
Forget it.
focus on making money at the beginning, but don't make that the only focus
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
business, right? So I want to talk about limiting beliefs, right? Because we all have that. Okay. So if you describe like one limiting belief that you really had to work on, what would that be?
Wow. I think it has to do with being able to thinking that I had something to say, that what I had to say was valuable. That was like the biggest one right there. Because having my solo practice, when I started that, that's where that really came out. And it was really hard. I didn't, I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to like be out there, an influencer, but I didn't believe I had something to say. It really didn't, the two didn't go hand in hand. And so I really had to work on understanding that I have a lot of value and what I have to say is important. That was really hard. And it was
And
partly
what
by
did you
doing
do?
it.
Yeah. And what did you do to like remind yourself of that? That yes, I know that I have a thought like this, but it is a limiting belief, and I know that what I have to say has value. How did you do that?
Part of it was just making myself go forward. Like the first thing was putting things in writing, like creating a course and then write and really writing my book was like the biggest thing because I putting things in writing, I felt like it was like elevating what my thoughts were. It made them feel, it made me realize that they had value. Like there's something about that. And I had to challenge my thinking all the way. Like, it was painful, to really let go of that belief. So I did it by getting support from people for what I was writing. And I needed a lot of support. Like I couldn't have done it on my own. So getting people to support me, I do all sorts of like energy work and hypnosis. And I've done lots of therapy, EMDR, because that's what I do. And I get help with that from other therapists. So I have to do a lot of soul searching to get past that. And it finally, I mean, I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, but I've gotten to the point where at least it's not holding me back anymore.
Oh my God, this really touches, right? It's so hard to be in this space, like knowing that you're worthy of anything in life, right?
Yeah,
Especially for women, we do have a tough time with that. But again, confidence comes from doing it.
it does.
There's no, you can like what you're saying is you had to write, you had to do, you had to show up, you had to do
You have to
everything.
do.
So you show up, and that's what when people ask you what's fearlessness is, what courage is, and I say exactly that, that you feel like shit inside, you're shaking like a leaf, you don't know, like you don't know if you're going to be able to do it, and you still do it.
Yeah,
That's what courage is. Courage is not that you have no fear, you do it with that fear in it, and you continue doing it until that fear can't no longer controls you. So that's amazing. Like that's one of the things I always tell. How do I get there? Do it.
do it.
That's it. There's only that's
Yeah,
just like Nike. Just do it.
yeah,
Don't you will be bad? Hell yes.
yeah,
You're going to be super shitty at the beginning. Your
yeah.
writing will suck. Everything will be bad. But you're not going to get better by not doing it.
Right. What's the choice? It's again the why again. It's like
Like
you got to be
what's
clear
the
about why
choice?
you're doing it, and what's the point? You got to do it. You got to keep moving forward.
We're going to keep moving forward. That's it. So there's a lot of mindset has come in, right? We talked about, like, what I've heard is business so much about the mindset, the what we think, what we believe, why. What role marketing has played in your business? How have you marketed yourself?
I have marketed myself on all the platforms. I do a lot of videos, and it's actually I have gone from trying to like be the expert and having that be the what's people facing to putting myself out there, being more vulnerable. And so, I mean, I've started doing videos a long time ago. So now my videos are more about what I'm going through in my life, what I'm doing. I'm like searching for a soulmate is my big focus with my videos now. Like, so it's more about, and what does that bring up? And how am I handling that as a therapist? What are my thoughts and ideas and that could be helpful to other people? And knowing and helping people know that you don't have to be perfect, that life is about growth. It's not about being perfect. And it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So that's how I market myself. And I do online stuff, but I also go to networking meetings and I speak to people like for whatever, chapters or conferences, whatever, what for free or for money, to get myself out because I think it's all about relationships. I was thinking about it. Yeah.
A lot of industry event, networking. You're saying you're pretty much on a lot of social media platforms. You have your podcast, you've written a book, you are promoting yourself, you're getting out there, you're doing the video content, you are sharing your stories. So my next question was, how the content is playing a role, but it's answered like it is helping, right? People like to, I always say marketing again, the same, like fundamentals have never changed. Marketing, we do business with people we know, love, and trust,
Right.
or we like.
Yeah.
And if you're not putting yourself out there, it's not going to work. And like, a lot of people be like, but what about Facebook guy? He's not on social media. He is on social media. He's on everything. And yeah, Facebook, you can't talk about that one anomaly,
Yeah.
right? An outlier, right? A Twitter, right? They created something, but you can't use that unless you're at that place. Small business owners, you gotta get out there. It's all about the relationship. It's all about people wanting to know you.
Yeah.
They want to do business with you because they know you, not because, oh, what you're selling is so amazing.
Yeah.
Because there are thousands of people selling the same thing.
Yes.
So small business owners, get out there, guys. Just
Got to get
create
out there.
content, good, bad, ugly. You will get better, and people love to see the authentic self. You heard from Suzanne that she, instead of going an expert, she's sharing her story, she's sharing her struggle, she's sharing where she is, what she's looking for now, how is that coming, like, and people love that because then you're one of them,
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
right? And we want to do business with people who are one of us,
Right.
not somebody who is so different. So unless you've created something like Jeff Bezos, Amazon is so big, like, you still have to get out and do that. When once you get big, you can do whatever the hell you want. No worries on that. If you were to give one advice to people to, or just do one thing in their business which will move the needle all the time, don't do one thing and do one thing, right? Let's talk about two things, right? One thing, a common mistake, don't fall for that. And the one which everybody must do.
First, the don't do is don't spend money that you don't have. Don't think that that's the only way to move forward. Go with what you've got, what your resources are. And then when you make more money, then you can spend more money on all those things. But until then, just don't do it. It's like it's not going to help you. It's just going to make you more stressed.
Yeah.
And you're going to go out of business. So there's that. And then what do? You have to network. You have to be out in the world and have relationships with people that you can't, like I said, you can't just be the expert sitting home alone because no one's going to hire you.
I agree. And you know what, guys? In next episode, I'm going to bring the queen of networking, Annie Garland,
Oh, yeah.
and she's going to talk about how to network. I mean, you know her, and she is a fireball. She's written books on networking. She's a master networker. So we will be talking about how to really network right in the next episode. And one of the things I would say not to ever fall for in your business is get quick, rich scheme. Anybody says they can give you quick results, run, because there's nothing like quick results in life. You have to, like you say, you got to love the process. You got to stay in the process, or you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to just keep falling. So you got to stay in the process. Got to just do what you need to do, and don't fall for that, oh, 28 days course and you'll be able to do this. Not happening. Okay. So it was great to have you. Thank you so much for coming. It was, I think, one of the best episodes for people to know what it takes to build a business.
Thank you so much. It was fun. My pleasure. I want people to know what it really means.
Yeah. And if you have any like resource to give it to them about, if you have a course or a freebie which they can help get with the mindset, I would love to have that and put it in
Yeah.
the chat for them. So do you have anything for
Yeah,
them?
actually, with a few other people, with Marianne Cruz and Candy Sterling, we have a course. It's a very short course called The Abundance Builder's Blueprint. And it's about a little bit of everything that helps you get your business going, from mindset to branding to manifesting and being on video, all sorts of. It's just short and sweet. I'll give that link to you.
Perfect. That would be great. I think people would, everybody should please take this. Like this is going to be the best, like abundance, blueprint where you have a little bit of everything right at the beginning. I mean, you can't go any better than that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.